Hey everybody, and welcome to The Void. We've got a special guest episode this week. We don't have David as a co-host in the studio this week, but we do have the privilege of having my own 13-year-old son as a guest on our show today. So, Mason, go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name is Mason. I'm 13 years old, and I'm my father's son.
I'm my father's son.
It's very, very specific.
Yes. So Mason's on here for two reasons. One is he is a small business owner, but also he was tasked with a school project to do a podcast about a subject of his choosing. And so he decided he wanted to do a podcast about how to start a mowing business. And so we're gonna have a fun talk here with Mason about all of the ups and downs that he went through starting his little mowing business. So Mason, how old were you when you started mowing our yard here at the house?
I started mowing when I was 9. And I was not as strong as I am now, and I was a lot shorter, so it was very difficult for me to push around the push mower that my dad originally had. I couldn't push it up any hills, or I could not pull start it either, so I had to have cleats on when I was mowing the yard, and I always had to have my dad come outside and start it for me because I could never pull start it.
Yeah. After every time you dumped the bag, you'd have to have me come out there and restart it.
Yep.
Now, people, if you're watching this on YouTube, people might have a hard time believing that you used to be short. How tall are you now?
I'm now 5'11".
Wait,
Yeah.
so you got taller as you got older?
No. No, I got shorter as I got older.
So he's 13 and he's 5'11".
Yes.
So,
wow, that's like as tall as I am right now, and I'm 29 years old.
Yeah, but at 9, the push bar of the mower was like darn near at head height. It was...
I had my hands up in the air, still
Yeah.
trying to reach for it. I was about holding on to it.
It was over your head.
Yeah.
So, you started showing interest in wanting to mow our yard. And I guess this actually goes back to snow shoveling. The winter before you were 9, you learned that you could make money
From shoveling snow in the winter.
Do you remember how that happened?
Not really.
So
But I do remember starting it.
we got a whole bunch of snow right after Christmas. And so Christmas had just happened and you wanted to like go buy a video game or something. And I'm like, no, Christmas literally just happened. And I said, if you want to buy a video game, you can make your own money and go buy a video game. And you said, I don't have any money. And I said, well, it's snowing. There's a whole bunch of people in our neighborhood that wouldn't mind you shoveling their driveway for money. And you told me, you're like, you mean people will pay me to shovel driveways? And I said, yeah. And you said, well, you don't pay me to shovel driveways.
Oh, you never paid me to shovel his driveway.
No, yeah. And I'm like, well, yeah, because that's our driveway. You don't get paid to shovel our driveway. So you borrowed my snow shovel and you went and shoveled driveways and you were gone all night long. Like you didn't come home until like several hours after dark and you came home with like $100 in your pocket.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And then you didn't even want the video game because you realized how hard it was to earn that money. And you got up the next day and went and shoveled more driveways. So that put a little bit of jingle in your pocket. And then, do you remember what you said comes like we had a lot of snow that winter. Like you were making bank shoveling driveways. Do you remember what you said to me coming towards springtime?
No, I didn't. No, I don't remember that.
You said that you were worried that it wasn't going to snow anymore and you were worried about what you were going to do for money. You're 9. And you were worried about what you're going to do for an income. And so I told you that those same people that you shovel driveways for, you could probably...
I remember that.
mow their yard. And that's when you said, well, I can't start your mower and I can't push your mower very well and everything else. So what'd you do then?
I got enough money built up from, I think it was just mowing our yard for the time.
And shoveling driveways in the winter.
Shoveling driveways. And I got myself a self-propelled Toro mower. And that helped me out significantly. I was able to go up hills, no problem. I was able to push it around it had an electric start, which I never charged. So
Yeah, it used.
but at that time, I was able to pull start them, no problem.
Yeah, it started a lot easier than my mower was like 25 years old. It was pull start, non-self-propelled, and old, so it was hard to pull start. And the one that you bought used was super easy to pull start.
Yep.
So then you that was like the early summer of 10, maybe. You were 9 or 10 when you started doing that. And so then you started getting paid to mow our yard, because now you were using your mower.
Yeah. I think I started Robin's yard with I started it with the self-propelled at first.
Yep. I used to have to drive you across the neighborhood to a couple of other customers. You made up a flyer on like a PowerPoint thing or something,
Yeah, I did.
and I shared it on our neighborhood Facebook page, because you didn't have social media.
No, not at that time I didn't.
And so I shared it on our neighborhood Facebook page, and you got a couple of mowing customers and started mowing away. Do you remember when you came home and asked about the rider?
No.
You were mowing Robin's yard, and you came home and you said, "Dad, Robin's neighbor has a mower that you ride on." And I said, yeah, those are pretty funny, or pretty fun. And you said, it was so funny because you didn't even care about how fun it would be. You said, he got done with the entire yard in the time it took me to mow her front yard. Like, I could mow twice as many yards if I had one of those.
Yeah.
And so we started jumping around on Facebook Marketplace.
Found a cheap one for $400.
$400. We found you a used piece of junk
Yeah.
John Deere rider mower.
Did not start. It did not run. It was rusted, broken.
Yeah.
Like, it was the biggest hunk of junk ever.
Yeah. We probably shouldn't have bought it, but we did anyway.
No.
Had 4 flat tires.
Yep. Didn't
So-
run. It was
We got it running, put new belts on it.
battery.
We didn't replace the tires. I think we just filled them with like tire slime.
Yeah, we just filled it, which still didn't ever work. They were still going flat.
Constantly had to air up the tires.
Those
Needed
things-
a new battery.
Those things have so much personality. Like, I remember my first car, and at one point, like, I had no air condition and my windows wouldn't roll down.
Right?
Yeah.
And like, I'd almost like not trade the experience ever, because you just grow a bond with something you have to fix yourself and manage and whatnot. Like, it had a personality probably.
Well, and it would throw belts every now and then.
Oh
and
yeah, it would pop them off.
the
of there
blades
all
would
the
hit
time.
each other when they're not supposed to. Like, it was just a piece of junk. But the cool part about having the rider was it gave you transportation.
Yeah, it gave me a way to transport myself around the area and not have you
Yeah.
always load me up and take me places.
In the truck, right. And so then we built like a little wooden trailer.
Which was actually very nice at the time.
Yeah, it was really
was-
nice until you decided to turn it into a hayride and take all your friends for a ride around the block.
Well, and then I snapped the wheel. I snapped the wheel off of it.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize I snapped the wheel off it until we got back and somebody said, "Hey, you're missing a wheel."
You're just dragging this thing now.
Now, when you took them on a hayride, did you charge admission? That's where it really
I didn't even take them on a hayride. I just brought them around our house.
Sign this waiver, please.
That's what you should do. Yeah, then just,
So
bring an admission for the
Yeah, I
hayride.
lost a wheel. I got back into the driveway and they go, "Hey, you lost the wheel." I just turn around and I realized I didn't have a wheel and I go, "Oh, okay, well, I'm going to go look for it."
yeah. So the trailer was kind of neat because it let you bring your rider, or it let you bring your push mower to people's houses that maybe didn't want you using a rider.
Either that or
where your rider couldn't get in their backyard.
Yeah.
But then it also let you bring your edger and trimmer and blower and all that stuff.
Which I didn't have
With-
an edger and blower at that time.
Well, you were using mine.
We didn't have an edger.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, that little... Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. We didn't have a blower, though. I had to use my own mower for that one.
Right. You blew it off with your mower. So, but then we had an opportunity. A guy that I worked with came to us and said, "Hey, I'm selling this zero-turn mower pretty cheap. I know your son mows yards, and he's pretty excited about mowing yards. Would he want to buy it?" And you know how I am. I leave all that stuff up to you. So I didn't make any promises to the guy. I came home and showed you a picture of it. And what'd you say?
We started talking, and I said, I can't quite remember. There's something along the lines of, well, I guess then let's go ahead and get mine up for sale and see how much they'll pay for it, and then see how much I have to go. But I'm going to need a loan from you guys.
Yeah, because at that time you had probably like...
I know we sold the mower for $500.
Yeah, we sold your old one for $500.
Which means I had $400 in my account.
You had $400 in the bank. And so now you had $900. And what the new mower, what did we pay for the...
It was $1,800. We paid $1,800.
So a bad boy, zero-turn mower. It was nearly a brand new 42-inch cut. Nothing huge, but still a very nice mower. And he wanted $1,800 for it, and you only had $900. So then what happened?
I was 11 years old, and I went into debt and got a loan from my parents.
Yeah.
So,
but that's a good debt.
Yeah.
Because that's a debt that is putting you in a position to make stacks of cash.
Investing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's an investment.
So for like the whole rest of the summer and part of the next summer, as I was 12 years old, I was just nonstop giving all my money to my parents until one day my mom came downstairs and said, "Hey, your mower's paid off. You don't have to pay us anymore."
Yeah.
And at that time, I was like really wanting to stop paying you guys and just say, you know what, it's yours, keep it. I don't even care at this point.
Right about the time you wanted to give up.
Mom came downstairs and said, "Hey, it's paid off. You don't have to pay us anymore."
Yep. We tracked it. And you were a little wrong on your timeline. That you were still 11 when that happened.
Oh, so I thought I was 12.
No, that happened early. It was early in the summer of when you were 11, and you paid it off in the first summer. Like it only took you like 9 weeks or something like that to pay it off.
Yeah.
I mean, it was very quick because you were paying us like $80 or $100 a week or something like that.
Well, I was mowing a lot of yards.
You were mowing a lot of yards.
I was mowing ours, Todd's, Courtney's, and Rob.
Yeah.
So I was earning about $120 a week.
And then some onesies and twosies along the way as people were on vacation and all of that stuff. So then now you got a fire under you because you've paid off your mower. So now all this money you're making now goes back to you.
Yeah.
And now you're the only 11-year-old kid in the area that owns a bad boy zero-turn mower.
Also the only 11-year-old kid that has ever gone into debt.
Probably. Yeah. So you went from being the 11-year-old in the most debt to the 11-year-old with the most capital, right?
Yeah.
The most assets, right? So then you started stacking money in the bank, and then what'd you do?
I got an offer from one of the neighbors that I was mowing his yard at the time. He said, "I'm getting rid of all my mowers and weed eaters and stuff, and so if you mow my yard for the rest of the year for free, I'll give you this mower, edger, and blower for completely free."
Not mower.
No. Trimmer, edger, and blower for completely free.
Yeah.
So I took that offer up and I mowed
And what
the
brand
whole summer.
what brand equipment is it? This isn't
Steel.
Yeah.
Like that's some pretty good equipment right
it's
there.
not junk Ryobi stuff. It's real good steel.
And it matches with the bad boy too. They're both orange.
Both orange.
Yeah, they match.
So now what have you done with the money you've made?
I took the money and I threw it into a computer. I started taking all the money I was earning, and I wanted to get myself a computer, so I saved up about $1,200, and I bought myself a computer.
Yeah, with your own money.
Yeah, I remember one summer I went out and I earned like $300-400 just from shoveling driveways in one day. I went out early in the morning and I shoveled our driveway, and I never came back inside to my parents. I just walked off and started shoveling driveways.
Yeah.
I walk in the front door with like $150, and I said, "All right, $150. Here you go. Add it to my account."
Do you remember when your little brother tried to help you?
That ended terribly.
Yeah.
He gave up like 10 minutes into the first driveway. He gave up, and he comes storming back into the house, and he's like upset, right? Well, Mason stayed out the whole rest of the day, and Grant just thought he was getting paid for that first driveway. And again, I don't negotiate for you. I leave all that up to you.
Yeah.
And
I don't think I ever paid him.
No. You said you didn't finish the job. I'm not paying you anything. And I look and Grant starts crying, and I look at him. I'm like, he's right. You didn't finish the job. You don't get paid. So, granted, he probably didn't help you much because he was probably only 7 or 8 at the time.
Yeah.
But what do you think's in store for the future?
Oh, I don't know. I think I'm just going to go with what I have for now. and repair and do whatever I have to do to everything that I have.
Yeah.
And once I get old enough, I think I'm just going to work for you.
Oh, yeah?
It seems a lot easier than trying to run my own whole business.
Just come work for me.
This is video documentation.
Yeah, we're going to hold you accountable to this later. Let's talk about some of the surprises that you get with a mowing company. Like, what are some of the surprise expenses that you come across?
Actually, today I had my weeder string kept snapping, and we repaired it wrong, and so it got winded up in the starter pole of it, and so my dad here went out and got a new full rewind starter for it, and it was $50 for a string, some plastic, some springs, and a plastic case.
Yeah.
$50 for that.
Takes money to make money, though, right?
It was a lot more than I thought. I thought it was just going to be something cheap.
Yep.
But no, it was not.
Yep.
Not cheap.
What are some of the other crazy ups and downs you've had with mowing?
Just random things happen. I've had before, never even saw it coming. My blades just got twisted up, and some wire that was laying around, like under the grass, got twisted up, and I was done. Like, I had to go home, and we had to get that out.
Yeah.
I was push mowing a yard, and I went to go turn over a corner, and I think I tried to grab it too hard, and it flipped over, and the whole thing was covered in smoke instantly.
Yeah.
So there was some hot days wherever I'd go to try to start one of my mowers, and they wouldn't start. It just started smoking, and I'd pull, and it would not start.
Remember the dog?
Oh, yeah. I left the fence gate open and let a dog out, so I had to go chase that down, which I was not happy about. I hated doing that.
That took hours to find that dog.
Yeah.
That stunk.
But I bet you learned a lot from that, where you're just like, every time after that, you're like, I am double checking and triple checking. That's what I was going to ask you. How did you deal with conflict when your dad wasn't there? Because you're obviously going out, and, you know, when you're a kid, you can't rely on him when you're out at someone's door.
Yeah.
How did you deal with that as an 11-year-old?
It was kind of difficult. Whenever I let the dog out, it was a lot of apologizing and looking, but he wasn't going to help me with it because it was my problem.
Yep.
So there was some mornings he told me, all right, get on your bike, go looking. Like, you got to find this dog, you let it out. So I recently mowed someone's yard that had a fence around it, and I was about to leave, and I knew he had a dog, and so I made sure I went back to each fence gate, and I made sure they were closed.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, I don't know if that dog runs or not, so they could have ran.
Yeah.
And I like how you took responsibility for that, because a lot of kids are going to say, well, that was their fault for having the dog in the backyard, but you took responsibility for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's done a pretty good job of taking responsibility for stuff. Takes some poking and prodding along the way. So, and I hear you're pretty famous on TikTok.
No.
No?
Well, on your TikTok page, yes, I blew up because I backed in a trailer at 11.
Yeah, so we had that trailer mounted to your mower, and I took a video of it and kind of narrated what you were doing. You were still in your baseball uniform, come home from baseball, and we're mowing yards. And that TikTok went viral at 600 and something thousand views or something like that. So
like 700,000 or something in the first day.
Yep. Started
slow, and then like I just kept checking on it here and there, and it was going up like 15, 20, and it was just 40, 50, 60, and then overnight it went absolutely crazy from like 100 to 600, and the rest of the day it kind of slowly.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting to watch a video go viral. Down. It's kind of neat. So what advice do you have for any other young guys that are out there wanting to start their own mowing company?
I'd just say never give up and continue with your dream, because there's so many times I wanted to give up, but now I'm where I am now, and I'm okay. I have what I want, and I just continue mowing to get more money. What do
you think you're going to do for a car? You know, you're 13. You got cars coming here in like 2.5 years.
I don't want to go
or
all
driving coming.
I don't want to go all out and go through the roof with like a 2022 Ford F-150 or something. I think I'm going to do...
You might have to mow a few more yards for that.
Yeah, just a few more. A few more. I think I'm just going to go with something cheap that'll get me around for a bit until I can afford a better car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you got to pay for it, right?
No, yeah. No.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll be driving your guys' cars around for a bit until I do actually get my own.
You might have to buy Mom's old one.
What? Oh, that white.
No, her Fusion.
Oh.
So.
That thing's pretty good. But it also it's about to turn into a piece of junk, I feel like.
Yeah.
It's about to give out on us.
You never know. It's got over 100,000 miles on it.
I think it's about to hit 120.
Yep. So, your advice is don't give
Never
up.
give up.
Follow your dreams.
Follow your dreams.
Even when you want to give up, don't.
Yep. No matter how hard it is, continue.
Yeah.
Push through it.
Push through it, right? Because what's on the other side of it? Plenty
the great
of
feeling of you actually did it.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I did it. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. All right. Well, I think that about caps up this show. So, guys, for our routine listeners of The Void, this was definitely a different show, but hopefully it gave you some inspiration for what a 9-year-old can do. And if a 9-year-old can do it with...
You can do it.
Yeah. With the limited resources that a 9-year-old has, if they can do it, then you can do whatever you want to do. Because as you're older, you have tremendous amounts more resources. So,
yeah.
Until next time, guys, we will see you later.